Bad. And good afternoon to everybody here on Tomato Talk with me, Brian Cohen. You would know that because it's on my page. Don't really need to say that, but hey, it is. So today, just open, wide open, the whole rest of that stuff. We're gonna let everything else go by the wayside. Just so you know, one, the EPCAL Racing Racetrack, not Street. Not this weekend. It's been delayed out a week. If you want to know the whole backstory, there was some confusion that went along with the whole thing about access roads and the rest of that stuff. And there was a little convoluted in there for the purposes of this program. Not even forget it. Doesn't really matter. It matters. Doesn't really matter. All the rest of that kind of stuff. But it's delayed a week. What does it matter? You know what? We'll do it next week. The good part, is the fact that there was 5 races scheduled for April. Okay, but now we're down to 3 because we're going to stop for the bird nesting. So you got the next Saturday, 9th, 10th, and 16th. Boom, 3 days. Going to be great. Ribbon cutting, April 9th. If you want to come out there for that ribbon cutting for the first day of racing, do it. Definitely do it. But it's April 9th. So that's all I got to say on that one. A lot more to follow on that. Pete Scalzi was on Jay Oliver's show this morning. Great supervisor for the town of Riverhead. Evetta Vergara was on Jay's program on Wednesday. So we're going to replay those 2 things for next week. Oh, good. Thank you, Jay Oliver, JVC Broadcasting. That, Pete, obviously the supervisor, obviously all those folks mentioned in there. And there was a few things mentioned there I absolutely want to follow up on, but we'll let that one sit, for now. Other things to kind of mention in there, there we go, the HiH Trade Show. HiH Trade Show, that's May 26th. Definitely involved with that. How we're going to be involved with it, and let's just say me involved with it, a couple of different ways. And I get questions about, what do you do? How do you do all these things? All right. So my thing is the microphone. My thing is helping to deliver the message out. My kind of really focus on, is trying to really connect. And it sounds so stupidly corny, but trying to connect the right people with the right people, right? Become somewhat of that referral network, or really become that referral network. So it's good. I get some requests that I just can't help with. I get others that perhaps I can, but can is a matter of referring them out. So I find that interesting. So I don't mind getting stuff that's different. I got a request today that was different, and I'll explain that as that goes. But let's just go with this: the HIA. So there's 2 messages that I would like to help deliver at the Hop Industrial Association trade show, and all of this stuff is done in support of the organization that's putting it on. In other words, the Hop Industrial Association. So I spoke with them. I've attended the meetings, things like that. And I asked, I was like, what's going on? What do you want to do? Boom. So Ron Loveland and the manufacturing committee really, really, really super. And I can't use the word really enough, although I will really want to promote the idea of careers that are available within the manufacturing group, the manufacturing industry. Tons. Too many, really. All right. So through my involvement, I'm a board member of the ECNY Foundation. I reached out to Maria Fry. Maria, this is what's going on. Made sure that Maria knew Ron. She did. Maria, you think I know people? Maria's unbelievable. She knows absolutely everybody. And she also just started her own podcast today, Maria Unleashed. So that's a something too. Very exciting. I'll be a guest on that one. So I made sure that the 2 of them are there. Maria works with the town of Islip. Town of Islip is a sponsor of the HIA. So very symbiotic. Marie also works with a lot of businesses. She helps people in that job search area. She runs these job search boot camps. So it's perfect. Massive following, massive people that have been through the program, massive people that have found careers in all kinds of industries and all kinds of projects. In fact, she works with Stony Brook University with their the project management group, and I go along over there. I help out with the interview day, but she works with the project management manufacturers and the project management people. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Plus, there's all these people that are in transition, and that's where they do these boot camps. The boot camps, as they happen, they're open to everybody, focused in different areas, but they're still they're going online. She's gotten people attending these things from all across the nation. Very nice. And let me just say this right now. Port Washington Library is a big sponsor of these things. Town of Islip is a big sponsor of these things. Very nice of them to allow folks from outside the community attend it. Now, if you are inside that community of the town of Islip or Port Washington, by all means, get in touch with the Port Washington Library today. Make sure that you are on that list. And the same thing with the town of Islip. Make sure that you are on that list. If you have any questions about that, let me know. I'll make sure you get directed over there. Because even though it's online, doesn't mean it's unlimited attendance, unlimited people attending these things, because she is very, very interactive with everybody. So be it. More on that. I have Maria on, and I have in the past. We'll be there to discuss that. But the fact is that she works with a lot of people on Long Island, with a lot of these different organizations too, and businesses too, that have got people looking for jobs. So make sure the two of them knew what they were doing. They are. She is. It's great. The other part of what I'm involved with is career employment options. Career Employment Options kindly asked me to participate in these career days, high school career days. Spoke with them. Two of them are working out really, really well together. They've got, CEO works closely with a lot of the high schools on Long Island. So what they're doing there is they're reaching out to the high schools to let them know about this thing, to invite the high schools over to the uh, May 26th HiH Trade Show. Did that last year with the Long Island Needs a Drag Strip folks. They brought the race cars down over there. What we're trying to do with the race car folks is promote the idea of the vocational programs inside of these high schools. So if we can get the high school students to attend the HIA trade show and the workforce development administrators and some of the other programs that are in there, like DECA, which is an internal program. It's not really internal; it's a high school program where the students compete against each other with developing businesses. And then there's a few other groups, a few other organizations in there, where the students are competing against each other. Virtual Enterprise Group is the other one, and they attend. It's great stuff. So if they could attend a trade show, what happens there is that there's career days that would happen in the high school with 20, 30 businesses attending. You get some portion of the school attending. Now, some portion of the school could attend a trade show where they can meet with hundreds of businesses, two, three, 400 businesses over the course of the day. And they could meet and speak to the executives at these organizations, which is great. Now, not only that, I mean, maybe high school, they're not looking for the job immediately, but they could do today and see those job descriptions for real, what those job descriptions are, and see and understand what they can be doing inside the high school today in order to prepare for the careers. And the businesses, the flip side of that too, is the businesses that are there could really see how impactful it could be when they work with the students. So I got that, make those connections in there. And Ron Loveland is actually going to be he's now going to be the keynote speaker at one of the events in April that the Career Employment Options is doing with sponsorship through the town of Hempstead, because the town of Hempstead wants to work with CEO, and they have been with to get careers going and to help people find jobs. So it's all good. I was like, so absolutely. So, as a board member of the ECNY Foundation, my focus there, it really is, besides the connection with everybody, but doing these high school career days, which all of this fits in with the high school career days. So That's why I do those things too. It's a matter of going and showing up and speaking. So if you look at it from a time management standpoint, I'm not I'm doing my part of it. I'm doing what I can on the whole thing. And this is what you can do your part on the whole thing also. And that really is great. Doug, good to see you, my friend. And that really where it becomes in. So there's 3 career days that are coming up. One of them is through Career Employment Options. That is the Mauritius School, April 14th, 8 o'clock in the morning. So I get a chance to speak for about 10 or 15 minutes to those students. What am I going to tell those students, those high school students? And they're there that day to really practice their networking skills, the rest of that kind of stuff, which fits in with another presentation thing like that that's going on. You know what I'm going to tell them? I'm going to tell them, and Doug, you could appreciate this, and so many of you could really appreciate this. And this is part of this whole thing, why I want you to tell your story at these things. I want you to share your story, wherever it is, on your website, your LinkedIn page, your Facebook page, and all the rest of that stuff. That why factor. Why do you do what you do? Why is it? Doug, why did you start a nonprofit? Why did these businesses get started? Why did Eugene from Bedgear, why did he get started? Why did he start Bedgear? What, he just woke up in the morning and said, hey, I want to make pillows? Oh, no, a lot more than that. Why is it that Joe Campola is so focused? I mean, here you have Campola, Middleton, McCormick, limited partnership, lawyers, all the rest of that stuff. Why is he so focused on talking about leadership skills? Why? It's because all these things that have happened in our past for us, it's all these things that have happened in our past that affect who we are today. Now, if you were to take that story today, put it up on your Facebook, LinkedIn page, whatever, business, nonprofit, whatever. What would we be talking about? So if I was given this kind of a presentation at a networking group, I would tell you, oh, you should definitely do that because it establishes your credibility. Why are you involved with a nonprofit? Because you had some experience in the past, and that's why you want to do that. Or you want to use your expertise to help out nonprofit in a way that you can because you think you could add more value by helping out with their social media, whatever, instead of just donating a couple of dollars. Okay. But why? What gives you why? Why are you involved with that nonprofit? I've seen people join these nonprofits because they want to be visible, but they got nothing to do with the nonprofit itself. Nothing to do with that. So you're there because you just want to rub elbows. We don't shake hands anymore, right? We just rub elbows. All of a sudden, that became a truism. Rub elbows with those that have got a lot of money, those board members. You're not there for the right reason. They say it. It's crazy. It's crazy. If you're involved with the right reason, you don't even have to show up with a lot of money. You have to show up with your enthusiasm. That's what they want to see. And then you get a chance to meet everybody and do everything. But that's us now. So what if you came to one of these career days? And I do invite you to these career days. The Sachem Career Day that I'm doing through with Maria Fry. And there's another one for the Hopog for Hopog. I don't know if it's the junior high or the high school. I participated in both. I was asked about it, so I'm waiting to get the details on that one. But that's out there too. Hopog, Mauritius is set, so no participation requested on that one. Sachem High School North, I believe it is, April 27th. It's a full day, 7 to 3. Still looking for people to participate on that one. So if you are interested, this is the request on that one. But now, if you were to take that story that has built you throughout all of those years, and you were to speak to a 15-year-old, a 16, 17, 18-year-old person, or maybe even younger, that was yesterday's request, people younger, 7th grader, it was about a girl and others, she's just kind of not engaged with school, doesn't care, doesn't have any ambition, nothing. That reminded me of when spoke at the rehab center, for those guys that were there, had drug problems. They were addicts, still are addicts, right? Once an addict, always an addict, that kind of thing. But it was like talking to them. It was the same kind of thing. It's like we have these situations, And what do we do with it? Well, here you are 10, 20, 30, 40, 40 years, 50 years later as successful people. But what if you were to go back and talk to talk to these students, 15-year-old students, 10-year-old students, 18-year-old students who don't have a resume and they're not really sure what they want to do? What if you told them what you have now learned over the years? And this is where I'm going to go with this. When I speak to those Mauritius students, it's what I do many of the times I speak to the groups. Depends upon who's there, who I speak with, whatever. But those Mauritius students, you know what I want to tell them? Besides the fact of how important it is to continue to learn, and I'll make some reference with that one as to why they should listen to, a 60-year-old guy with gray hair. It's like, really? Who cares? Why would you care? I can tell you why they should care. See how it goes with them. Is because I'm always looking to improve. I'm always looking to do different things. That's the whole thing with Toastmasters. That's the whole reason why I got involved last year or 4 years ago with the racetrack thing. Wanted to try something and learn something different. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to get out there, see what my potential is, see what I could learn today that I could utilize tomorrow. Does it always work out? Oh, absolutely not. It does not. But I learned from it. Now, let's go talk to those 15-year-old students. What do you think you should tell them? Is that what has happened to them in the past when they were 5 years old, 10 years old? All that stuff impacts them. And all that stuff will guide them, will steer them, will push them, maybe to pull them in a direction. If it pulls them in a direction, it's something else. Family members. Maybe they have a family, maybe they don't have a family. Maybe they've had a family member that's had some issues, and that kind of thing. It's an impact. Positive, negative at the time. Hey, look, if you got a family member with issues, sometimes in the moment, it's a negative. Further on from it, what do you do with that? What do you do with that situation? I can tell you want to know how to mentally handle that situation? Go follow Steve Rizzo. He's some great stuff on that one. But what do you do with that situation? What'd you learn from it? Where did you spend your free time? If you wanted to get away, you got bad stuff going on at home. You dislike school. You don't even want to do that. You go and hang out with your friends. But when you're hanging out with your friends, what are you doing? What are you doing? Futzing around with cars? Is that what you're doing? There was one guy I spoke to. That's what he did. Got involved with drugs, stuff like that. Wound up in an institution. Bad stuff. Definitely bad stuff. But he did in his spare time. He went out and he fixed cars. He fixed cars. He worked on cars. That's how he lost himself. That's what he got involved with. Today, he wound up renting an 800 square foot place. This way he could actually work on cars, not just in driveways, but actually work on cars in a shop. That shop is now a 10,000 square foot shop. His next step is to rent another place because he wants to sell things on a more retail basis, not just work on the glass, retail basis. Why is he so focused? Because he's seen the light, or he's seen God, or he's learned from his past, and he wants to, absolutely, positively wants to deliver that message out to people. That is what he wants to do. Now, if he spoke to those students, and I hope he does get an opportunity to do this, and I know he will at the booth that he's taken, table that he's at for this thing. But I know what he's telling those students. He's telling those students that what you live through, what you survive through, those things that impact you, make you who you are. It doesn't mean you have to be that person. It doesn't have to follow that path, but they impact you, and they impact you going forward. That is what pushes us. Maybe it is what pulls us. It pulls us into a direction, that we want to do. There's a reason why I want to go out there and help people really get their story and gain the confidence to tell his story. Because I've seen some people, you're just like going to get lost with stuff that happens to them. Stuff that they've screwed up with. It's happened. Stuff they just followed along. Followed along for my career. It's like, I know I could have accomplished a lot more than what I've done. And that's why I want to do what I want to do. I'm at a point now able to do that. And then there's stuff that's just, Yeah, you know what? It's not self-inflicted. Some stuff is, some stuff scenario just is, and other things just happen. Just things that happen. It impacts us. It changes us. It molds us. But it's not necessarily who we are. It might just really truly become our motivation going forward. And there's a lot of stuff going forward that really could make a difference. Really can make a difference. So from an event standpoint and things like that, one, the races are next weekend, April 9th, 10:30 in the morning, ribbon cutting. It's great. I'll share all those stories. That'll be good. You'll meet some folks out there just absolutely amazing. You know, just absolutely bring your cameras, man. I'm looking to collect as many photos, videos, interviews, everything like that. Certainly bring your cameras, and do that. A lot of fun, family activity, food trucks, all the rest of that stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. The HiH Trade Show, May 26th. Again, I'm looking to push that vocational thing, and that's off there. My next factor in that whole thing, and this fits in with the drag strip, and it fits in with some things that I'd like to accomplish on a going forward basis. But I'm looking to promote the tourist industry. That's right, the tourist industry. So I'm really trying to get the East End involved in this whole thing. The wine industry, the different wineries too. What's going on there? The golf courses, the beaches, Montauk Lighthouse. We got so much history out there. So many things. Heck, even the bike path that's in there, the Setauket Greenbelt Trail, Portia Ferry. That's part of the whole thing. Why do all of that? I got my personal reasons for doing that because I love that stuff. I love the fact that we got the sound on one side, we got the beaches on the other side. We got mountain bike trails here. It's great. Running, it's great. You got all these kinds of things here. You want to know how that kind of supports the vocational side of things? Hey, selfishly speaking, if these businesses on Long Island, Queens, Nassau, Suffolk County, if these businesses out here can't get the employees, they're going to move. If they move, we lose the tax base. We lose all those employees that are here. Gosh, that's not good. Taxes go up, expenses go up. I mean, like, really, it's expensive enough living here. If that continues on, man, we've really got some issues. We need those people here to work here. That's part of it. Absolutely. It's great here. There's so much history on Long Island. It's really great. Besides the racing history, besides the aerospace industry, besides the entrepreneurs, besides all these sports figures, that are here, these athletes that are here. There's so many here. You have no idea. You have no idea. And there's going to be all kinds of, and music. Oh my, you talk about 80s music and what that's become. And those people that have gone on to such great things, great stuff. In fact, even, there's a whole bunch of different things that are there. There's amazing things that have come out of Long Island, entrepreneurs that have come out of Long Island. How can we stop that? We can't stop that. Heck, there was one statistic I was told yesterday. I don't have the exact numbers here. I forget the exact numbers, but it's like something like a third of all kids that are really young have got entrepreneurism in their blood. They want to do, they want to build, they want to develop. But the time they get to high school, that drops to single digits. Look, as people that have started nonprofits, businesses, stuff like that, that's all entrepreneurism. As somebody that's inside of a corporation that's developing new products, that's entrepreneurism. Can't lose that. That's what moves us all forward. Cannot lose that. So it's there. Got to keep that stuff going. Got to keep that stuff going. All right. So I mentioned in the beginning over here about news and all the rest of this stuff. Boy, oh boy. News. What's going on? This national news and stuff like that. Ukraine. A lot of put together this website, a Facebook page where you could speak to the people that are in Ukraine. You could create these videos in Ukraine. We'll try to get her on. Probably will happen. Get her on a radio show to talk about that, about the fact that what's really going on from the shelters standpoint. I mean, people, what's happening, they don't have the TVs. They're not seeing that stuff. And a lot of TVs filtered, including in Russia too. But the internet's not. Man, Elon Musk is making sure that satellite's pointed that way they get the internet. You now have a chance to voice your thoughts and speak directly to those people who are in these shelters. Fascinating, right? So we got that. So Lotta's been doing that, and she is something else, man. So what much more about that? So that's good stuff, that's out there. It's really good. And Jay Oliver, I didn't mention that, but he's got somebody on every morning at 7:30 from the military, talking about what's going on there. And I saw this thing post today, that Russia stated that Ukraine bombed a refinery in Russia. I'd be shocked about that. I truly would. What's news? What's real? What's not? That's a challenge, my friends. That barrier has been broken as to what's fake news, real news, all the rest of that stuff. Terrible, terrible over the last number of years about all the rest of that kind of stuff. There's been a bunch of different things, and that continues on forward. So, but you get a chance to be you, and I know what you say is true. So there's that. So you get a chance to do that. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. What about some of this other stuff that's going on? Oh, the award ceremony. Want to know my opinion on the award ceremony? I personally think it's I think it was a setup, really. Just feel it's a setup. I don't know. Bad. Just bad. And you know what? And if it's a setup, absolutely horrendous. Absolutely terribly horrendous by everybody involved in that one. Everybody involved. Hopefully it wasn't a setup. But even if it was a setup, that's bad. Now, if it wasn't a setup, it's still bad. There's nothing good coming out of this thing. If it's a bad joke, okay, it was a bad joke. It's tough. It's very hard. It's very hard. As a comic, not me as a comic, but comics, they get up there. Their whole thing is to poke fun at stuff. Hard to poke fun at other people's stuff, and that is what happened over there. In poor taste, perhaps. You do that at a comedy club and something like that with somebody you don't know, really not good. You do that at the Academy Awards, everybody's a public figure. It's not the first time people poked fun at the different people in the audience, and they were public figures. So yeah, you could say it was in bad taste. I'd go with that one. I'd go with that one. It wasn't like she shaved her head for a movie or something like that. She got a disease doing that whole thing. She's been open with it. The rest bad. Will Smith getting up there and smacking him in the face on that one, and then cursing on TV, cursing on international TV. He knows that stuff. Academy Awards. Did they need the ratings? Oh, I don't know. But let's go bigger picture here. Bigger picture. I definitely want to get this thing in. Bigger picture. Now, what happened? And this came from some of the comics making these comments, and they're right. What about heckling? Heckling was heckling. How would you get heckled? You get in a bar and everybody's drunk and you get heckled. All right, it is. Drunk. Stuff like that's going on. It's a place to get heckled. But at the Metropolitan Theater, at the Opera House, one of the opera singers, while she was singing, gets heckled at the Opera House? Really? Where does that come in? What about the quorum? What about the quorum? And this thing too. I mean, like on national, international TV, on TV, you get, getting that thing going on. Where does heckling end? Where does it end? And those are just two examples of so many things. We just keep going on. And even look, we've been watching all these videos, these Karen Guy videos, and all the rest of that stuff. Really, we people feel so empowered to voice their opinion in places that are really just not. You're upset with something. But you want to know something? To do it in these places, to go and picking on these employees that are getting paid, whatever they're getting paid, minimum wage, a little bit above minimum wage. They're trying to just toe the company line, and they're getting like that. Actually, some of them are getting the crap knocked out of them, or even worse. You've heard some of those stories too. Because of mask, wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Your inalienable rights to wear a mask. Let me tell you something. Nobody's suffocating wearing those masks. Go speak to a surgeon. Go speak to these nurses. Go speak to these people inside these hospitals that wear masks all the time. Nobody's nobody's suffocating. Are they as effective as they should be? If you're wearing a cloth mask, I see people wearing scarves and handkerchiefs and stuff like that. It's like, all right, what is that doing? Maybe it's knocking your germs down a little bit, but I don't know how much it's doing. But that's fine. You think it's farce? That's fine. But don't pick on people with that. There's no line in the sand anymore. No line in the sand. Last comment. I was watching these videos. Watch this video from 1910. I love watching those old videos. It was people going to a movie. You know what those people were wearing? They were wearing full-length dresses, gowns, hats. The guys wearing suits, long coats, top hats, canes. Canes for dress, not because they had to wear a walking cane. They were coming out of the theater. They were so well dressed. Go watch some of the baseball videos, the old ones. People going there, they all got top hats on, well dressed, fantastic, unbelievably beautiful. Now, go to a movie theater, you got to stop people from talking, heckling, opera, heckling, dress code thrown out the window, completely thrown out the window with all of these things. Where's the respect for everybody? Where is that gone? I think that's gone out the window. Why? Does all this other stuff go on? Because there's no respect for other people. That's something we need to bring back. Got to do that. There was something I saw this morning. It all had to do with community. It really does. You want to make things better, got to help out you, got to help yourself, help your community, and then expand from there. You're not just helping yourself. You're not just helping your own community. It's helping everybody's community. There's different ways of doing that. And all of that stuff really impacts not only you, and it does in a very positive manner, but impacts your circle and impacts more and more. Look, I really think, going back to that school thing, I really think that it's unfair that some schools, let's go with the K through 6, K through 12, some schools don't get the same funding as other schools. Some schools have to cut out different after-school programs where other schools have those programs. And they're just one town over. Terrible. How many careers are getting cut short? A lot. How many opportunities are getting cut short? A lot. How many bad messages are being delivered by doing that? People get jealous. People say, "Hey, why are you being treated better than me? Why is that happening?" That's wrong. Do we have an opportunity to help that out? Well, that's a long road to hoe, but we'll get there. And I think one of the ways of doing that is participating in these career days. Any kind of school career day, it doesn't make a difference. You start helping out those kids, those younger kids especially, but the students, help them out with their careers. Let them know that people care, including that 7th grade girl that doesn't care about school, doesn't care about anything. We make an impact with her. When she grows up, she'll make an impact with other people. That's continuity. That's continuity. All right, we'll be back next week. We'll get an update on a whole bunch of different things. But for now, that's where that one goes. It's Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Remember, speak well, speak often, live inspired. Thank you.